Hello, everybody, and this is a new review of a couple of movies. This is a series, but I'm not going to do it individually because it's a long series. So today I'm going to be reviewing, be talking about the Friday 13 movies. I got the DVDs. I don't have the Blu-ray yet. So this is the first four I got in this set right here. It's about a young boy, young deformed boy that drowned in the lake, named Jason Voorhees. So what happened to him? He nobody was watching him. So his crazy mother, blamed the campers. So so for the first movie, she's been stalking and killing these teenagers, blaming them for what happened to her son. She's the antagonist on the first movie. The second movie, now the rest of the movies is Jason. Well, I'll get to that in a second. But the second movie, Jason, it comes back. What? I'm sorry. Let me go back. The first movie, Jason pops up at the end. He pops out of the water. That when I first saw that part, it was it really surprised me. So they show Jason and we see it's the thing about it is we don't know if that was real or a dream. You gotta watch the movie to see what I'm talking about. I'm quite sure people have seen it by now. This movie is made in 1981. And then part two, that's when they first introduced Jason. When you first see Jason, he's a little different. He's creepier, but he doesn't have the hockey mask. His signature hockey mask. That don't come into play until part three. Um, this is all of them in the same plot. It's just about Jason Voorhees come back from the grave, getting revenge on the campers. Part four was the final chapter, which we all know is not the final chapter. They try to change it up on part five. Well, the first four I loved. The first four were really good. Part five, they try to change it up. On part five, it wasn't Jason. Jason was still dead after the events on part four. Part four, he was killed by Tommy Jarvis, portrayed by Corey Feldman. Tommy Jarvis has been in the series for a while as the first survivor who's been in these movies. He was on part five. He was older and he had some kind of nut. What do they call it? Like a nut farm. I don't know what you call it, but he was at some camp, kind of like I guess a camp, but it's not Crystal Lake. With these other people, other nutcases. I guess they have troubled teens or whatever they're supposed to have been. So the story on that one is the one of the crazy people was kind of like he was like I guess retarded. I'm sorry. Mentally challenged. Not my fault. Mentally challenged. He was annoying this one guy that was there. Then he just kills him. He starts chopping him up. It's not in this one. Hold on for a minute. Yes, I'm going a little far. So he gets killed on part four, and then okay, let me go. This is the other set right here. I went kind of forward there. I didn't introduce these movies yet. So that was the story of those first four. That's the plot of those. It's the same premise. It's Jason stalking campers, killing the campers. I'm sorry. This is part five right here. Part five is the different one. They try to introduce a different killer, who's the coroner. End up being his son. The mentally challenged boy. End up being his son. So he takes the Jason mantle, starts dressing as him, and start killing the teenagers, blaming them for what happened to his son, which make no sense because there was only one guy that did it. Why would he kill the whole camp? This one was okay. This one was never my favorite one. I didn't hate it. It just wasn't my favorite one. Then you got part six. Part six, I like part six. It was a lot different. So Jason comes back. He's like this superhuman zombie in this one. And the rest of the series, that's how he is in the rest of the series. Nothing can stop him. Shooting him, he's been shot up, all kinds of things. And he's just like superhuman now. When he comes back, though, they bring back Tommy Jarvis again. But it's a different actor playing him. I guess he's a little older. He's in a funny farm. Because what they wanted to do on part five, they wanted to make Tommy Jarvis the new antagonist, the new killer. That wouldn't make any sense. That would have sucked. Nobody want to see Tommy Jarvis. We want to see Jason Voorhees. They try to do that with the Halloween movies. They try to do it part three with a different storyline without Michael Myers, which makes no sense. You got to have Michael Myers in it. So part six, the way they go, and keep in mind, the man's dead in his grave. Why would you go to a graveyard, dig him up to make sure he's dead. Then you see his body lying in the coffin with maggots crawling on him. That man's clearly dead. So this idiot in this graveyard takes a piece of the fence and starts stabbing him with the piece of the fence and leaves it in his body. So the bolt of lightning comes down, shoots down onto the piece of the fence, the pole, and revives him like Frankenstein. So this is his fault that he comes back from the grave, idiot. So he came back from the grave because of this idiot and started killing more teenagers in camp, at another camp. Crystal Lake, but it's called Lake Forest Green in this one. They renamed it for some reason. Everybody like, how are we supposed to forget Jason's the one that's been stalking this camp? Stupid. So that's the premise of this movie. That's what happens in this movie. And then because he gets killed in this one. With all of them, he gets killed, but he comes back. Always ends up coming back. So they tried another different approach on this one. This is part 7, The New Blood, which fun fact, it was supposed to have been the movie Freddy versus Jason, which we finally got a couple years later. A few years later. It was supposed to have been that. So like the studios couldn't agree with, I guess, the plot or whatever it is. So it ended up being like a Carrie character. She was like Carrie. She had telekinetic powers like Carrie versus Jason. So they try to change it up again, but it's the same plot. It's the only difference is the girl had telekinetic powers. It's about Jason stalking more teens on this one. So it's the same thing. I like this one too. Like this one was really fun. It's a fun flick. Jason looks. This is the first time he's portrayed by Kane Hodder. He's bigger, bulkier, nastier looking. He's like you can see his bones sticking out in the back. He's like rotten. You can see his the ribs and stuff, and he just looked disgusting. He looked cool. The makeup effects was amazing. So the way he gets killed in this one is kind of silly. Because the girl, the protagonist, the final girl, she got the power. She can bring her father back because she at the beginning of the movie she had killed her father because her father was abusive. So she used the powers and her father died and he collapsed down in the lake and died. And this is like years later. She's a little girl now. Now why the heck when she brings him back with his powers he's like not rotten in the face, which I saw it was actually art I saw online that was good. They were going to use it, but it was the one of the crew didn't like the way it looked, so I ended up just putting a guy with dirt on his face. Really? So what he does, he drags Jason down in these chains. He grabs him and just pushes him down in the water, and that's how he dies. Really? That's how Jason's gonna die. Other than that, the movie was good. I don't know why he had to get killed like that. That made no sense. Okay, then we get to the. This is funny. Jason Takes Manhattan, and I like this movie, but it's got a lot of silly parts in this movie and stuff that make no sense. Cause they got the one girl. Well, the way he comes back, I can't even explain. It's so silly. You had to watch it for yourself. So they got the final girl on here. She she has a history, a past with him that Jason she can't swim, so her crazy nutcase uncle was raising her. So one day he tried to teach her how to swim. It's like a flashback scene in the movie. He tried to teach her how to swim, so he just pushes her in the water. The girl can't swim now; she's drowning. So you can see Jason grabbing her from the bottom of the lake. Now, this continuity made no sense. In that case, this girl would have been older than what she was. She had to be in this movie. She's supposed to be a teenager. Well, why in the heck, if this is what Jason was a kid, she should be older than her. Because Jason was supposed to got killed. He drowned in the lake 1954, something like that. So, these are slasher movies. The continuity make no sense in these movies anyway. I know definitely this one, in this series, it really does not make any sense. But I enjoy it. I know it's the least favorite of everybody's. I like it's okay. It's better than this next one I'm going to talk about in a little while. Because this movie is a hot mess. Okay, then let's move on to that one. That was the first 7. The first 8. Then we get to this one. Jesus Christ. This one right here. This is the one that's a hot mess. Jason Goes to Hell. Oh boy. In this one, at the beginning of the movie, you got this woman. She's like end up being like an undercover cop, I guess. So she goes to Crystal Lake. Which, keep in mind, which I don't understand about these movies, because Crystal Lake always get some kind of renovation because it always looks different. I don't understand it. You know, that's how these movies are. They're goofy, but I love them. So she she lures Jason in. She pretends like she, you know, in these movies they always have nudity and stuff like that. So she takes her clothes off and everything. But when first they show it, she comes to the camp, changing light bulbs and stuff. Why? Why are you doing that in this house? So after she does, she's already taking like she's about to take a shower. So Jason, I guess the power goes out, and Jason's in the house somewhere. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Let me go back. I'm sorry. Let me go back to Jason Takes Manhattan real quick before I talk about this because I got something to talk about in there too. Jason, that's why that's the problem to tell you about. It's so silly in Jason Takes Manhattan because on Jason Takes Manhattan, some kind of way he got these teleportation powers. I don't know what. It's like one scene. What was that one scene? With the one girl was in the club party in the cruise ship. It was like a graduation cruise ship. So the girl comes in, she sees Jason in one spot, and then she looks at another way. He's like in another spot. Keep in mind they don't show him walking from one spot to the next. Some kind of way Jason can teleport in this way because after he off screen killed every last teenager on this boat. I don't know. They never show what happens to them. So off screen kills every last one of them. It's on like, is it 4 survivors? I think it's like 4. They had a teacher, they had the girl. It was here 4, that idiot, the prick uncle. Who cares? He gets killed, thank God. Nobody cared about him anyway. You got them 4 survivors, and they take this raft off the boat because the boat was about to sink or whatever. So that I don't know. They end up drifting all the way down to New York. In Manhattan, Manhattan is hardly in this movie because they didn't have enough money to film all the movie in Manhattan. So I don't know either. Jason was swimming the whole way, but he ends up there with them. They never show how he gets there. He must have swum. Keep in mind, Jason can't swim. That's how he died. He died by drowning. So some kind of way he swam. I guess he swam there. So he just popped out of nowhere. So I'm sorry. I meant to talk about that, but I had to go back to that. That's how silly that was. So this, even though that's so silly, I still liked it. Okay, let me get back to Jason Goes to Hell on there. So after that, she runs. Jason sees her, so she's getting chased by Jason. So he goes in the wooded area and end up being out in the open. You see all these spotlights come on. So the SWAT team starts shooting at him. Body blew up. Only thing intact is his heart. His heart is beating a little bit. So it stops beating. And then they take his body parts to the coroner. So the coroner is like recording like his I guess explaining what happened to him. He talked about all the bullet holes he had in him and how his blood is black and all this. So I guess Jason becomes so evil now. He has supernatural powers. I don't even know where the heck that came from. So the coroner sees the heart beating. It starts beating by itself. He picks the heart up and eat it. That's just a nasty part. And then Jason started, I guess, possessing him. I don't even know when Jason got these powers. It makes no sense. He started possessing him and possessed the coroner. So technically, in this movie, he does body jumps. Jason's hardly in the movie. It's still portrayed by Kane Hodder. He's hardly in the freaking movie, which makes no sense. So this is my least favorite Jason movie. I never really cared for this one. It's kind of grown on me now. I think it's okay, but this has to be one of the worst ones. So through the whole movie, he just body jumps. And also, they introduce in this movie that he has a sister. When did he have a sister? When? When did the mother have another kid? Why would she give away her sister but keep him? That makes no sense. I never did understand. He has a sister and a niece. So the only way he can come back to life to be reborn is if is go through his system. So his only good character in this movie they had was Creighton Duke. It's this like bounty hunter, and he has there's a plot hole with him too. It's some he was a good character though, but it's a plot hole. I read somewhere that he was actually he had a plot. I mean, actually, it was I guess a scene or something that he's encountered Jason before, and Jason killed his wife or something or girlfriend. Never been mentioned. They just cut that out. Don't you think it would have made sense to keep that in there? Duh. So in this character could have been like a Loomis character, like in Halloween, but they ain't do nothing with him. Cause the part there he said, "Remember me." I'm like, no. When did you ever encounter Jason in the previous movies? You never did. So he he jumps from body to body. So this is gonna be crazy to explain it. So one part he jumps from one body to I think it was a cop. So the one scene he comes out the cop and jumps into another that a-hole's body that was like a news anchor. So the cop's body started melting. I have no idea why. I guess his body can't last long when Jason jumps from one body to body. So his body starts melting. That's the only scene that's the only scene in the movie show that what happens to the person that he ends up jumping into or whatever, possessing. It's just so, oh my God. I don't know what they were thinking. I know the director said this was his first movie. He came out of college film school or something. Yeah, after that, so they know in the movie, it's gonna be embarrassing. So the main hero in this movie, which is a doofy geeky guy, he was okay though. He's from the Friday 13th series they had back in the 80s. He ended up being, and this is to the point when he jumps into another cop's body. I think his friend, I guess they were friends. They didn't act like they were. He comes in storming in the house, the Voorhees house, and takes the machete and chops his neck. It's like halfway on there. So Jason jumps out. It's like a little parasite comes out of him. Start crawling. And crawls in the basement where his dead sister is. And then the thing crawls in her. Yeah. And then that's how he comes back. I'm like, after all that, why didn't he do that from the first place? So he comes back the same way. First of all, the way Jason looked in this movie was nasty anyway. He looks like a thing of ground beef. Because in this movie, they don't explain how he comes back after Jason takes Manhattan, because he gets killed by toxic waste on Jason Takes Manhattan. They don't toxic. I think it was toxic waste. It was in the sewers in New York, which they don't do in real life. I don't even know where that came from. So some kind of way he was resurrected, and he just looks like a nasty. His head was all nasty looking. It's like ground beef, and this mask was made into his skin. Like he can't take it off no more. It's like his head was like made into. It was just the way he looked was just disgusting. I wish I had a picture on here. I don't though. So only a Voorhees can kill him. So the bounty hunter throws it's like a dagger he has, gives it to her, and the dagger transforms into a sword. Really? What in the world were they thinking? So they kill Jason. He goes to hell, and then later on in the movie you see Freddy's glove come out, teasing for the Freddy vs. Jason movie, which they made in 2000. When did they make that? 2003. So after they did all that, it was a couple more years before they made that. So that, and it actually ended up being good, but this one, no, it's not that good. Okay, let's move on to Jason X, which Jason X, I don't consider this part of the continuity of the other movies, because this one's a lot different. I had heard they was making this movie to keep the rights, because by the time New Line Cinema had bought the rights to Jason Goes to Hell and Jason X, because it used to be Paramount. So this is the kind of, it's just Jason at the beginning show him like, I guess somebody, what was that organization? They had him actually operating on him and everything, and they finally caught him and everything. Well, of course he escapes because nobody want to listen to the main girl. He escapes, and her and him end up being I can't explain everything because it's gonna take a long time. End up being frozen for 400 years. After 400 years later, Earth is like gone. It's like just dirt and wind. So the premise of this movie is just the same. It's just it's like it's not in the camp. It's on a ship. They try to be like Alien, but in a goofy way. I do like this movie. It's not it's not great, but I actually enjoy it. I saw this in theaters. I saw this one in theaters. I think it's the only Jason movie I saw in theaters. It's not a great movie, but it's some funny, but a lot of silly parts because he is upgraded to Uber Jason. That's why see how his mask is. He's like a super Jason on that one. So you had to watch it to believe it. But they, I think to me, my favorite ones are the first four when he was human, just a regular human. But I do enjoy these movies. It's just Jason Goes to Hell is my least favorite one. So if you ever want to pick these ain't on Blu-ray yet though, which I'm kind of surprised they're not on Blu-ray yet. But these right here, I would get them on. I would get these on Blu-ray. They got them on. But they do have all these on all 8 on Blu-ray. But I would definitely get these. They're pretty good movies. Kind of surprised they have them on 4K yet. They haven't released the some of the other old horror movies on 4K yet either. So, but they good. There's some of the hit or misses. You just expect the continuity make no sense in none of these movies, but they're fun. If you into slashers and stuff like that, I think you'll like these. So I'll just pick these up. Get them on DVD or Blu-ray. You probably had to get them on Amazon though, because I don't think they'll have a lot of DVDs at Best Buy no more like they used to. They still sell them though, but if you want to pick these up, well then it's a pretty good series. I just wish it made sense. But that's how all slashers are. So what's up for Scream? I love Scream. Scream makes sense, I guess. That's all I wanted to do today. It was just the Friday 13th series. Hope you all enjoyed. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.